There's a concern among the business community, industrial community, indeed among our membership, as to the silent majority, that we're not hearing from Canadians on the importance of resource development going forward in Canada. Canada's current economic prosperity, its competitiveness, its standard of living has depended upon the ability of its resource-based economy to thrive. Our concern as a service industry that provides support to the infrastructure that's needed to assist and underpin the development of Canada's natural resources and its export to the international community, we're concerned that some of the rhetoric that's being used to oppose these projects really isn't based upon environmental concerns, isn't really concerned about necessarily the modem or medium of transportation, but is taking a position that Canada should get out of certain resource development completely, send it, export it somewhere else, close down fossil fuel extraction, for example. And we have some concern with that. As long as there is an international demand for fossil fuel use, as long as there's a demand for some of Canada's natural resources, why shouldn't Canada be the country that's providing that natural resource to the world? Certainly, from our perspective, Canada is best positioned to do that in a most environmentally conscious, in a social democratic conscious methodology, as opposed to some of our competitors who may not have those principles high on their priority page. What good is it for Canada to stop providing its resources to the world where those principles that we as Canadians feel are so important would be completely abandoned and picked up by our competitors? So we're a little concerned that there's been that the majority of Canadians have been silent on this issue and that they need a voice just as any Canadian does.
It's a huge issue in Canada from, in my view, it's the infrastructure required to get our goods to market. And quite often we, as emotional individuals, that's what people are, we tend to tie pipelines to bad oil, bad fuel. And we use products out of the petroleum market industry for way more than fueling our cars. So as CCA, we definitely are on side with minimizing environmental impact, doing what's right. If we can curb the use of fossil fuels, absolutely. On the other hand, though, we need to ensure that we can get our products to market. And there's probably no better stewardships of development than Canada. So if we're really going to maximize our value to the world, we need to be more vocal in terms of, if we're going to do what's right for the world, we need to get our resources to market and minimize the global impact. Because the consumption is on a downward trend from a fuel point of view, and whether you look at buildings or vehicles. There's most of what you and I are wearing today, or cell phones, there's an element of hydrocarbons. So we can't sit as a society and say we won't use it. We're trying to minimize fuel, and I think there's a gap there of the general population fully understanding that zero is not the right answer. Stewardship is the right answer, and I believe Canadian stewardship is at the leading edge in the world, and we need to maximize that. And to do that, we need infrastructure to get it to our coasts, and pipeline is the safest, most responsible way to do it. And again, so with the right system, the right designs to minimize future risks.